Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shah, Yahweh, Baha Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Baha Hashem, Kuha Kadash. All praises, honor, glory, love, respect, faith, and power, and trust, and all credit to my Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and my Heavenly Big Brother, Yahweh Shah. Thank you so much for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're going to do. Double honors to the apostles and the elders and bishops of GMS, great millstone who I learned from, and all the men scattered all over the world, teaching this truth and none but the truth in the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Trying to put a spiritual bug in you Hebrew Israelites' ears. You so-called blacks, Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and your speckled birds. And what is a speckled bird? That'd be a Hebrew Israelite that look like some of the heathen nations, like for example, a Hebrew Israelite that look like a so-called white person, or so-called Chinese person, etc., etc. Got some videos lined up on America's financial system going to the shitter. It's been there, but it's just getting worse and worse. There's more updates and videos about that. And ooh, look at them chemtrails in the sky. Those are not real clouds. But anyway, man, America is failing, it's financially collapsing, and I love it. Even this store right here, the Trump Superstore, is going out of business. Let's get to it. I'm going to play these videos. I'm going to get into the scripture my best ability. Say whatever God say through the spirit and power. Yahweh Shema Shah, the Holy Spirit, the Korah Kadash, Lord willing, and be on me. Let's get it. Customers because they losing faith in Trump. It says the shop is now selling off its remaining inventory at 50% discount. It's going out of business, and America is too. All America is a business, or actually is a company. Oh, they even have made Israel great again. Shit, no. First off, you ain't making. Those niggas ain't Israel. Those niggas are Amalek. Who only person that gonna make Israel great is gonna be Yahweh Shema Shah. We been always great, but the Lord gonna make us even greater. Gonna make us immortal and rule over you niggers. He said has a Tel Aviv. Man, please. The girl that reported that did not know what she was talking about. Hayes reportedly said, I don't know what the fuck. Alright, let's get the hell on out of here. This bitch is going out of business. What is this about? I guess I'll say this.
All of a sudden, diesel has become the biggest concern, and rightfully so. We've been warning about this here for weeks. The writing has been on the wall rather clear, and our government has ran their strategic reserves down to nothing. They have been able to get away with pulling from those reserves to fill the crude buffer, but this does very little to help the price in terms of diesel. And that's what's happening right now. The perfect storm, so to speak, is coming together. And it's happening because they're making it this way. It's rather obvious. Hormuz, this whole thing was meant to usher in a greater reset. What we also see in this is more than just Hormuz. The Red Sea getting hit, and strategically, you're looking at refinery after refinery getting hit, specifically on the war front with Russia. This is making the price of diesel go through the roof. This is affecting everything globally. Oil extending gains this morning, trading at around $91 a barrel. At some point, it's going to break past 100 and continue marching north. There's nothing that can stop it at this point. Trump can only try to manipulate the prices here in America, like he's done with eggs, beef. He's barked at the gas stations. But since he has not deployed an executive order to keep prices at a certain spot, they're going to rise. And at some point, the thing with diesel here, they're saying that's absolutely unprecedented is this not going to show up. when the refineries are taken out, they're bombed, they're wiped out, and they're never replaced. You have a huge issue. You can have all this oil just like they got from Venezuela, but if you cannot refine it into a usable fuel, you have big issues. And that's where we're sitting right now. Again, SPR, super drained, it's treasonous where it's sitting. You just had JP Morgan come out and warn about a global food crisis. You got the waterways waxed. I mean, a mega drought has clipped everything, and it's global. And as I showed on the stream last night, fires are global as well. It's everything against mankind, and it's coming from the governments of this world. I'm telling you, Trump leading the way here with this whole fiasco around Hormuz. It's meant to do all of this, to eventually be the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of the economic pain that it's going to bring. I'd have a plan here. We've been saying it for a long time.
Oh, goodness gracious. Shut up. Man, the only plan for you Israelites need to have is a plan for a plan with Yahweh Shema Shah. By building a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah. That should be your plan. And praying like heaven, Lord, have mercy on you. You repenting too. Or try to do as much as you can to get closer to Yahweh and Yahweh Shah as best as possible. Because, the plans of these people on this earth they talk about, it ain't going to work. I mean, you got some food and water. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. For just in case, but hell, eventually you might not be around it. It shit runs out. You got to put your faith in the Lord. Yahweh Shema Shah. Let's get to the next one. More about this diesel and fuel and crisis stuff.
So we just get the news that diesel crack is at an all-time high, hitting over $102 a barrel.
Right.
We also get the news that gasoline prices for the month of August are also at an all-time high. All-time high for both of these. And Trump...
I don't see how it's an all-time high when it's going to get higher later. So then they going to say that's an all-time high? Man, all-time high for the month, right? That'd be best to say that. All-time high for the month, right? But then the next month is going to be higher.
Just saying, nothing to see here. We own the Strait of Hormuz. It is...
Boy, these niggas gaslighting like a motherfucker. Oh, man, this nigga even had to post this shit. They are fucking with these people, bro. And these people are fucking stupid. These people are absolutely stupid to believe this shit.
The U.S. territory. There is nothing to see. This is a masterclass in gaslighting. I mean,
Like I just said.
At least the attempt
This nigga here got the heavy witchcraft on these dumbass Babylonians.
in gaslighting. Trying to tell you, do not pay attention to the rising gas and oil prices. Don't even pay attention to that. It doesn't matter. Silly you. We own the Strait of Hormuz, and many barrels of oil are getting through every single day because we are in control of it, essentially, is what Trump is trying to tell us. But the reality is much more grim. Look at this. This is him saying new U.S. territory. He actually posted this on his Truth Social. I think Iran and the world really is, if they weren't so afraid of the rising prices that are about to show up here, the inflation that's about to hit us smack in the face, I think they would be laughing. But instead, they're crying because it's all going to be about to affect us. We should all be crying, in fact. Trump posted this saying, there are no talks or conversations going on or scheduled with the Islamic Republic of Iran. The naval blockade remains in full force and effect. The Hormuz Strait is open and operating. All water mines have been removed or detonated. Thank you for your attention. This matter. President Donald J. Trump. So he's saying these things, yet the market, filled with insiders who also have the scoop on what's actually going on, says otherwise. Well, if you watch my show, you are when it are a certain company to play better, but you to face the fact that diesel crack is at an all-time high and gas prices for the month of August are at an all-time high. Yet we're being told, no. Everything's actually way better than it seems. In fact, an Israeli journalist, I don't know how much you can actually trust. I'd hate to say. It's really a shame because I'm sure there are plenty of Israeli journalists that are actually extremely trustworthy.
You can't trust no rats. Now, they'll tell you some truth, but then they'll tell you a lie. It's like saying America or Christian is Edom, but then these niggas will eat them too.
And very much people we should be listening to. Many of them are working for Haaretz. But unfortunately, when we see Israeli journalists, we have to be very skeptical. Well, what is the play here? Are you trying to propagandize us? And I would say in this instance, yes. The answer is yes. They are trying to propagandize us. Listen to this one. Iran has lost the battle over Hormuz. According to U.S. government data, the U.S., Saudi Arabia, and Gulf countries are successfully exporting an average of about 15 million barrels of oil per day, 9 million in tankers passing through the strait itself, plus another 6 million via bypass routes and upgraded land infrastructure. A large portion of the oil is exported covertly with escort from the Fifth Fleet and does not appear in public databases. But the best proof of this is the fact that oil prices have not spiked and are hovering at roughly $85 to $90 a barrel, far from the scare tactics of $150 and up, and an economic crisis on the scale of the Great Depression, together with additional developments in the global oil market, primarily the drop in China's consumption and to some extent record high oil production figures in Venezuela. The new situation nearly completely covers the 20 million barrels, my allergies. August is always the worst for me, so you just have to kind of bear with me. And I try to stay away from allergy medication as much as I possibly. I don't like popping pills, but anyway, excuse me. All right, the new situation completely covers the $20 million barrels that used to pass through Hormuz before the war. What's currently holding Trump back from dismantling the Iranians is not Hormuz. This battle, it seems, has long been decided. The real story is the fear of indiscriminate Iranian fire on the oil infrastructure of Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states.
I ain't playing all this shit. If you want to watch the rest of it, be my guest. They go to the title of the video, and they go her channel. I ain't gonna get into all this mess. But if you want to listen to it, be my guest. It's just references or sources letting you know that another Israelite being hung. Yep. Well, anyway, it's getting worse and worse. You better seek the Lord. They gonna be they been hanging babies, but they gonna be hanging babies again. Like in hell, they gonna be hanging a lot of you Israelites, you so-called Latinos, Hispanics, Native Americans, blacks. Yeah. Hell, they even hanging people that look like Edomites. It could be an Israelite. Heck yeah. They could be hanging some of y'all. You speckled birds. You don't think y'all got the complexion for the protection? No, the Lord knows who is who. You better know what time it is and know who to seek. How about Shemal Shah? That's their name. Let's get to the next video. Yeah, I'm done talking about these prices because they gonna go up, bro. Better hold on to your old shit handles. Let's get to this one. Talking about the U.S. debt clock. Yeah, I mean, all this shit ain't gonna be. And you females walking around with your tootie booty showing. Well, y'all better be. You better be keeping your ass inside. Fuck the covering up. You better be staying your ass inside. I mean, I like what I see, but y'all better be staying your ass inside. Look at that. Just walking around freely, little half skimpy naked shit, and all of a sudden, motherfuckers come around and fucking fill up on your ass.
Whether you're a professional or
talking about you been, I feel so violated. Bitch, you asked for it. And you should know the times we in. So get ready for that shit.
just love getting hands-on with your home projects.
Well, let's start with the latest on the U.S. economy. When Donald Trump returned to the White House, cutting government waste and reducing the U.S. deficit were central parts of his economic pitch. His administration created Doge, with Elon Musk initially targeting as much as $1 trillion in annual spending cuts. Trump also spoke about reducing what he called wasteful government spending. But the debt trajectory has moved in the opposite direction. U.S. federal debt stood at around $37.64 trillion at the end of 2025. By August of this year, it had climbed to almost $40 trillion. That's an increase of roughly $2.3 trillion in just over 7 months. At the same time, Trump's administration pushed through a major tax cut and higher defense spending. The result is a U.S. government that continues to borrow heavily despite the administration's promise to bring spending under control. That rising debt is now colliding with a more expensive borrowing environment. The U.S. Treasury sold $25 billion of 30-year bonds at 5.2% yield last week. That's the highest auction yield for the maturity since 2001. The significance is not simply that yields are high. It is that the U.S. has to refinance an enormous existing debt pile while continuing to run large deficits. The Congressional Budget Office now expects a $2.1 trillion deficit for fiscal 2026. That's roughly $200 billion more than its earlier estimate. Higher yields mean new borrowing costs are more, and as older debt matures, refinancing also becomes increasingly expensive. That creates a feedback loop. Bigger deficits mean more borrowing can mean higher yields, and higher yields mean a bigger interest bill. And this is where Japan and the yen enter the picture. In an unusual move earlier, the US and Japan coordinated intervention to support the yen, with Japan buying yen and the US Treasury also participating. So the question is, why does the US care if yen falls to multi-decade lows? Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said it's to help its allies. But the bigger story is that Japan is the world's biggest holder of US Treasury securities. This means the relationship between yen and the dollar and the Treasury markets has global consequences. A sharp fall in the yen can encourage Japanese investors to move money back home, potentially reducing demand for US assets. Other major holders are already shedding dollar exposure, a phenomena spearheaded by China. So the story is no longer simply about a $40 trillion debt pile. It is about whether the US can keep borrowing at affordable rates while pursuing tax cuts, defense spending, and overseas military commitments. And with Treasury yields now at multi-decade highs, the cost of that strategy is becoming harder to ignore.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it.
Students in Georgia head back to school. A major decline in federal nutrition assistance is certainly putting a strain on families. New data shows Georgia's SNAP benefits caseload dropped by nearly 30% over the last year. Atlanta News First reporter Abby Kasouris is live at Virginia Highland Elementary. That's in Atlanta. So, Abby, how are parents coping with all this?
Yeah, well, a new survey from No Kid Hungry found that parents are skipping meals to make sure that their children are fed. Advocates warn that the safety net expected to catch children is collapsing, and that schools and food pantries are critical to help meet these hunger needs.
And this is what the pantry looks like.
Walking into this local pantry, you won't see clipboards, background checks, or red tape. Operation Defrost Chief Amika Houghton refuses to make people beg. Houghton remembers being a struggling single mom, turned away in tears from a pantry because she didn't have a light bill to prove she was poor. Now she says she sees working parents struggling every day.
They're telling me that the rent is increasing, which is making for grocery bills to be, we got to have somewhere to stay. So more money is going to having shelter than less is for food.
A new No Kid Hungry survey reveals 83% of low-income parents are terrified they can't afford enough food. Most are cutting back on groceries, and nearly 60% say their kids would starve on school days without free meals.
No parent should have to skip meals so their kids can eat. These are hardworking families that have been impacted by an affordability crisis.
In Georgia, nearly 500,000 people, nearly 30% of the state's caseload, were recently stripped from federal SNAP benefits, according to the Food Research and Action Center. It has forced communities to step up. At Peachtree Ridge High School, football players and band members are packing survival meal kits for community members and classmates.
Survival meal kits.
Who quietly go without.
We talk about it all the time. Some of our own family, some kids on our team go to the Duluth Co-op or the North Clinic Co-op and get some help.
Everybody should be able to be helped out. Everybody should be taken care of. Nobody should be left.
Well, the only way you be taken, and it's the lions. Yeah, it's a bunch of lions. Yeah.
Things of that nature. So we're all
spiritual. There's a bunch of lions. But yeah, if you want to be taken care of, seek the Lord. Yeah. I mean, nothing wrong with this right here, what they doing, but ultimately, yeah, the Lord will take care of you if you of His elect.
We're always here to help.
Yes, I gotta keep saying that. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna keep saying it, damn it.
And we're always on their side.
While local teenagers are stepping up to pack these boxes, advocates say charity alone cannot fix a broken safety net. Many advocates are pushing for Georgia to opt into the SunBucks program in 2027. Now, this is a federal program that would allow for grocery assistance cards to be passed out during the summertime for children while they are away from school. However, it would require an administration fee from the state, and the state budget is already strained, leaving many families right in the middle. Live in Atlanta, Abby Kasouris, Atlanta News First.
We got the hospital bills quick with it. The epidural is about $17,253.
What? You said that a little fast.
$17,253. The hospital room of us staying.
$17,000?
Room for the 1 day stay was $3,675.60. Those
$3,000 for what?
For the room. Both rooms for both corners.
We stayed in the hospital for 24 hours.
Yeah, that's the triage room. Anyway, the food was $176.70, and the skin to skin that you had with Kimmery was $4,000. The skin to skin for me was free.
No. How is pizza $176? And how do they charge me?
Hold on. Is this acting? Is this real? I don't know if it's in a hospital or this is somebody's house. If she's an employee of the hospital.
For laying my daughter on my own chest.
Out of the total. With the insurance discount, it's $28,219. We have 30 days to set up a payment plan.
30 days to pay $28,000?
I just got my hospital bill. I was in there for 3 days for a leg surgery, and I'm going to read you the itemized charge list. First, semi-private room and bed changes, $12,487. Changes for drugs and IV solutions.
Well, these motherfuckers ain't getting that money. Hell no. They ain't getting that damn money. I'd be like, shit. I'll give you $100 a month.
$2,222. Medical surgical supplies, $2,918. Clinical laboratory changes, $5,314. Operating room charges, $7,749. Anesthesia services, $2,157. Physical therapy, $874. I literally had no physical therapy. I had surgery and I walked with a nurse when I got out. And I was the one who said I wanted to walk on my own. I literally held some random nurse's arm. Emergency room services, $5,615. Recovery room services, $1,948, for a total of a whopping $41,288.
So Lonnie's put me in the hospital about a month ago, and my hospital bill just came in. Let's open it together. I have no idea what this amount's gonna be. I am a broke college student. $1,685.74.
For what though? I've missed what she's. Fuck it.
At the start of the game, you need to collect enough resources to repair your long-abandoned spaceship.
Oh, and it's due August 7th, and today is July 14th. So I have 3 weeks to come up with $1,600. The total cost of my Lonnie hospital trip, $5,834.88. So insurance paid $4,100, and I still owe $1,685.74. Which is incredibly confusing because when I was at the hospital, I asked, can I just pay now? And they said it'd be $1,500 for me to walk out the door and I don't have to worry about anything. So why is it now $5,800? My mom's gonna beat me. I'm not even kidding. Next time I think I have a heart attack, I'm just gonna have a heart attack and die because...
Watch have a heart attack. Don't give a fuck. This place is collapsing. Fuck this damn place.
Why can't I get healthcare without literally missing out? Like, that's like my month's salary. I'm just gonna die next time.
I just got a call from the hospital that did my double
die, then it gonna cost you money to bury your monkey ass.
mastectomy at the end of April to find out my
You know how much that shit gonna be a lot.
insurance actually denied my double mastectomy claim, and they are asking me to pay it. I have TRICARE, and they're denying my double mastectomy claim because of liability. They said there's liability issues. Okay.
I just gave birth 2 months ago and have received all the bills for it. So this is how much it costs to have a baby in the United States, specifically Washington State. A little preview, I had a low-risk pregnancy, I had a vaginal birth, I did get the epidural, I only labored at the hospital for about 5, maybe 6 hours, and in total I was at the hospital for 36 hours. Starting off, the labor and delivery room, I was there for about 16 hours, was $15,784. Yeah. My daughter decided it was time to wake up from her nap, but moving on, my postpartum room was $6,256. Now, it was a private room, but my hospital only has private rooms. They don't have any shared rooms. I was pretty shocked that this was a separate charge, but the 11 minutes of pushing that I did cost $3,261. Because it's another doctor that you have to pay, it was $2,160. It's crazy the epidural cost that much, because I only had it for like an hour. I got to 9 centimeters. It was like, yep, can't do something medicated, I need the epidural. But $2,000 to the hospital cost $4,429, and of that, $3,743 was just a charge that said nursery. Like, what nursery? She stayed in the room with me literally the entire time we were there. Next, there was a charge for her that was this label of physician services. It was $552. I'm assuming that was the 2 times they came into the room, saw her for 30 seconds, and then left. The last charge finally is a hearing test for her for only $28. So in total, all of that was $34,500. Luckily, health insurance exists because out of pocket, we only had to pay $350, meaning our insurance covered $34,150. I think that's insanely ridiculous, but that is how much it costs to have a baby in the United States.
This is your son.
That's why nobody want to have no baby in the United States. Well, shit. I don't know, man. All I can tell you, man, we gotta get out of here. This shit is ridiculous. Whatever this. Let's get to the next one.
Back here in the United States, Americans are growing increasingly gloomy about what's been a resilient economy. A new CBS News poll finds 69% of Americans are not satisfied with how the economy is working. CBS's Aaron Navarro is in Bridgewater, New Jersey, near President Trump's golf resort where he just left. Aaron, what do you know?
Good evening, Jerika. With the Iran war in its 6th month, there is still pain at the pump. The national average for a gallon of gas is about $1 higher than at this point last year. And with November's elections approaching, voters are frustrated with the American economy.
People are struggling to survive.
New CBS polling shows a majority of Americans believe how the U.S. economy works is unfair. And 73% say that the income gap between the richest Americans and the middle class is increasing. This anger about the American economy comes with less than
Egyptian versus Egyptian. Financially. There's so much other divisions. But when it comes to finances, yeah. The haves and the have-nots, yeah.
3 months until the midterm elections. Slightly more voters feel the Democratic Party is aligned with them on economic issues compared to Republicans. It's a worrying sign for the president's party as they grapple with the political consequences of rising prices caused by the Iran war.
I think most Americans are feeling the pain at the grocery store and the gas, so I think it's better just to acknowledge, hey, this is a problem.
Voter disconnect with the economy is fueling success for Democratic socialist candidates in primary elections as they run on closing the income equality gap.
We are transforming this nation so that it can take care of everyone. How is it that we have our first trillionaire and we still have veterans who are unhoused?
The bad ratings on the economy come as President Trump's family is growing their business. This weekend, their cryptocurrency venture, World Liberty Financial, got preliminary federal approval to become a bank trust. World Liberty Financial CEO Zach Witkoff says the move will result in more federal oversight and scrutiny. Democrats in Congress call it an act of, quote, brazen self-dealing. Jerika?
Aaron Navarro, thank you.
Struggling with writer's block, story structure, inspiration, and character development, the struggle can feel relentless.
New data from the Commerce Department shows Americans cut their spending in July by the biggest amount in more than a year. Retail sales fell 0.6% last month, following a slight gain in June. That drop in spending is raising concern among some economists about the resiliency of consumers as Americans respond to rising gas prices and lingering inflation. Joining me now is Heather Long. She is the chief economist at Navy Federal Credit Union. Heather, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time. Federal data also shows inflation declined slightly in July as gas and grocery prices slipped. When you look at figures like this, what are your biggest takeaways for everyday Americans?
I mean, it's tough out there, and you can see the fatigue from American consumers. Part of the reason the July data was so disappointing is that Amazon Prime Day and Target Circle deals and those Walmart Plus deals, they happened in June this year instead of July, so there was definitely less spending on electronics and some of those items that people try to scoop up on Prime Day. But if you really step back and look at the bigger picture, since the war in Iran started, inflation is outpacing wage growth. People are literally getting squeezed financially in America. And you can see that there's been a pullback at the grocery store. More people are turning to credit cards and dipping into savings. And that's why the outlook is definitely for a little bit of a consumer slowdown heading into back to school and ultimately into the holidays.
Yeah, and usually when it comes time for Prime Day, I hear a lot more people talking about it. I didn't hear as much chatter around Prime Day this past summer. July's data also shows restaurant spending saw a slight increase. Families often cut back on eating out to save money. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think there's some of it may have been the World Cup impacts, people going out to watch the final game. So I don't think people were surprised to see that number up a little bit. I think what's been interesting to watch is hobby spending, people spending on books, on sporting equipment, on chess sets. That's actually been one of the bright spots for the past year. I call it mini splurges. In this economy between the tariffs and the high gas prices, people need to do something to feel good about themselves. And so one of the encouraging stories is they're doing the book club, they're getting together to play the sports together to try to find some cheer.
Yeah, I'd like to see some data on how much parents are spending on Robux, because there's a lot going into Robux in my household. But when it comes to school shopping, school's around the corner. Target, for example, says that 95% of its prices for school supplies are at or below last year's levels. What are your biggest concerns as we head into fall and holiday spending?
There's just no relief coming for households right now, and that's what's hard. You just see that people are already squeezed. You see gas prices. We've never had gas prices at $4 this late in the summer. Normally they start to fall a good bit, and that's just not happening right now. And so that's what really worries me is people have been stretched for a long time, and there's nothing else coming. The tax cuts have already happened. The tax refunds have already happened. Other than the stock market gaining a lot more, most middle class and moderate income Americans aren't going to be helped by that.
Right. Well, hopefully we see some sort of relief in the coming months. Heather, thanks so much for your time and insights. Really appreciate it.
Tyson Foods facility in Utah County that just opened 5 years ago is now set to close. That move will result in the loss of hundreds of jobs. News specialist Daniel Woodruff is in Eagle Mountain, where people are reacting to this news. Daniel?
Tyson Foods says it's closing this plant as the company restructures to deal with a historic cattle shortage, and 723 people are losing their jobs.
I'm really heartbroken right now.
Mary Del Lewis lives in Eagle Mountain and has worked at the Tyson Foods plant since it opened in 2021.
We thought we were going to get a bonus because it's our 5-year anniversary.
Instead, she was told the plant will close in October and she'll be out of a job.
It's hard to take in. It's like It's like, is it true?
We're really concerned about this.
Abby Ivory is Eagle Mountain's Economic Development Director. She says the city is working with the state and Tyson Foods itself to support workers.
We're concerned about making sure that they have all the resources available to make a transition easier, not just with getting a job, but any hardships the family might have in the meantime.
It just shows you the lack of herd we have in the United States.
Utah Commissioner of Food and Agriculture Kelly Pearson says the U.S. cattle supply has dwindled due to drought, fires, a closed border, and the high cost of feed. Tough conditions, he says, for a business like Tyson.
They invested $300 million on that plant, bringing it to Utah, and it was a great investment, a great asset to the community.
Pearson says this highlights the importance of local food production, which he says the state is working to develop. But right now, he feels for those losing their jobs.
I needed money, to pay for everything.
Mary Dell says she'll now start looking for something new.
If anyone is hiring out there, let me know.
In addition to the Eagle Mountain plant, Tyson Foods says it's also closing one in Illinois. And
a massive development in Joslin, Illinois, where the hundreds of cars.
Speaking of Illinois, here you go.
You see now on your screen were people who found out that their jobs at the Tyson plant were gone.
One place talking about 723 jobs gone. This one says 2,500, or it's probably a whole total, over a total for all them facilities being closed. Anyway.
That breaking coverage tops your news at 10 tonight. Good evening, I'm William Ingalls. The Tyson facility in Joslin is shutting down, leaving more than 2,500 people scrambling. This is the letter those workers got this afternoon confirming the plant's permanent closure. Workers will get paid for the next 2 months, but the job some have leaned on for years is gone. The Tyson Foods plant is located in Joslin. That plant began operations in 1983 under the ownership of Iowa Beef Processors. You can tell by the map it was a central part to the local and regional economy. But why is a company that's called the area home for so long closing its doors with next to no notice? Well, the breadcrumbs were public as of about 10 days ago on the company's earnings call. Tyson told shareholders they expect losses around $650 million this fiscal year in its beef processing sector alone. Company officials claim cattle shortages and high livestock costs are to blame for that massive loss. But that reasoning doesn't do much for the workers who now only have a few weeks to find where their next paycheck is coming from. KWQC's Elizabeth Ruggiero talked to some of those workers who learned their career at Tyson was over.
For decades, the Tyson complex in Joslin has been the heartbeat of this community, but that beat went silent this afternoon. As workers arrived for their shift, they weren't sent to the production line. They were funneled into the cafeteria to receive a letter that many say felt like a betrayal.
People started fighting, people were yelling, people were crying.
Man.
I know people that have been here for 30 plus years. I know people that have been here as little as 3 days.
Tyson says the decision comes down to economics, rising beef prices and lack of cattle. But for the 2,700
they're trying to get rid of the cattle.
People who work behind these gates,
Nobody won't be able to. They're trying to get rid of this shit.
the why doesn't matter as much as the what now. While they'll be paid through October, the loss of health insurance and steady work is a reality that is starting to sink in.
And I forgot to mention, all these videos I play, and how long it's been. 32 minutes playing these videos, or me doing this video, and I forgot to mention that all this is leading to the chip implant. All this financial pain, suffering, and sorrows is leading to the RFID microchip implant, the mark of the beast. If you don't believe that, you just wait, be patient. It's coming. It's gonna show it rear its ugly head. Yeah, just wait.
All these people without jobs take medication that costs $300 a month, and insurance don't cover. Now I have to weigh in on that. I have to watch what I do. I guess I don't know.
Rita Newton has been with Tyson for 11 years. She says the plant felt like a family that's now being split up.
Shit. Anyway. I can't stand when you got these jobs and talking about we're a family, and I'm like, nigga, wait up, just give it some time, and then y'all gonna find out. No, you ain't. They gonna disown your ass, pretty much fire you. Shit. That's why I don't even wanna. When it comes to these people in the workplace, I don't wanna deal with a bitch. I mean, it depends, but I don't wanna deal with a bitch, have no sexual relations with no bitch, and then you partying with people or going to the bar with these people, all that shit. No. I don't want to work with these people because it's affect hanging with these people too long. It's gonna affect affect you in your job. Fuck that shit.
For company's bottom line. Though workers' new contract talks stalled this summer, an announcement like this didn't seem like a remote possibility.
How do you just drop, a bomb like that and
easy, just like that? That's how they did it. I mean, they just did it. And hell, it's been going on for so many so many companies. I mean, y'all shouldn't be surprised. Y'all just get ready for it when it comes. Hell, they been closing damn Tyson facilities. Y'all should be expecting that shit to come. Heck yeah, but whatever.
A day. People coming in for their shift, and oh, guess what? Go home. No more job. People leaving today from work are getting stopped. Hey, don't come back tomorrow. How do you do that to people?
A company that brought
like that
thousands of people down this road every day is expected to be a ghost town by Monday, with no plans to replace it anytime soon. In Joslin, Elizabeth Ruggiero, KWQC TV 6 News.
The Tyson closure even got the attention of Governor J.B. Pritzker. While he offered support and resources to the affected workers, he put the blame on cattle prices squarely on the Trump administration.
And here we go. They're going to blame it on the Trump administration, and they blaming it on him. They blaming on him back and forth, but then meanwhile, all this blaming, pointing the finger at the Democrats, Republicans, and the Republicans and the Democrats, the people got to suffer. This what shows you that all that voting shit is a fucking joke. Your votes don't count, nigga. Anyway.
Between the war in Iran and tariffs. Meanwhile, Republican State Senator Lee Ariano Jr. feels there's a different place to put the blame. He says the Tyson closure is a reflection of Illinois' business climate and believes the state will stay in a tail.
Here we go. Blame. But meanwhile, these niggas getting a check. These niggas getting checks. They getting paid. They ain't losing their damn job. That's for sure. They doing all this damn telling you who to blame. But these motherfuckers ain't losing their job. They making their money off of you taxpayers and making money off of the drug trade and the weapons and the war and children, sex trafficking, organs and all that stuff. They making money off all that stuff. That nigga right here, yeah, he making a lot of money off all that shit. Anyway.
Spin unless changes happen soon.
I'll get the fuck out of here. This video was like one minute long, so like I'm gonna slow it down. Tyson Foods closing plant. Yeah, we ain't got it. This is just one that's 2 hours ago. I ain't gonna play another video related to that. What's this about? I'm just looking at if they got any new updated shit I can add in. Not to this video, but add into future videos. I'm gonna do Lord willing. Well, anyway, let's get to the scriptures. I didn't know when I was gonna get to it, but let's get to it now. And I got one more video to play. Let me bring the list open so I can get to that last one. I was gonna play them, but I'll change my mind. I'm gonna say that for something else. But Hagar chapter 1 verse 6, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but ye are not but there is none warm, I meant to say. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes. And that's what a lot of people going through right now. And it's getting worse. It's building up more, especially when diesel prices going up, fuel prices going up, food prices going up. You ain't got enough for anything to afford to live in America, survive in America. Shit, no, you're gonna end up doing what the people over there in Indiana, was it Gary, Indiana? What they doing? They out there busting heads and splitting wigs. They see what the neighbor got. Hey, I'm coming to take it. Cause them lights been out. I don't know. The lights been out for 7 days, maybe 8. These people can't take it no more. Shit, and as soon this shit gonna be crazy, it's gonna be nationwide. Better seek the Lord. The country's in debt. Let me see. The debt clock is running. Yeah, that thick clay. Let me see what else we got. Yeah, there's people skipping meals, man. They can't afford it. They can't afford. Boy, shit. Oh man, in America, bro, this shit is wild, bro. They can't afford their hospital bills. Cause the motherfucking hospital bill you paying for fucking half a house just for delivering a baby. Damn. And they want you to deliver. They'll say it's against the law. You have to get your baby delivered at a hospital. Yeah, cause they want that money. And they making it law. I'll be like, nigga, somebody getting a cut for this shit. Fuck that shit. Anyway, what else we got? Man, let me get that. Some fucking ridiculous shit. Proverbs chapter 29 verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear fruit, the people mourn. Shoot. And the wicked ruling, look, you paying a ass load of money just to live in this bitch. If you was living, if you had righteous rulers ruling the world, you won't have to worry about a damn thing. But instead, you living here with some wicked ass rulers, and you know, yeah. What else we got? What was the next one? Oh yeah, let me see what we got. Got them jobs. Let's get to the jobs. Isaiah chapter 19 verse 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rust may do. There ain't no work for Egypt, from the high paying jobs to low paying jobs. Shit, the only thing you're gonna be able and capable of doing, if you're still walking around on in America, you be fighting for your life, taking whatever you can to survive. Shit, you won't be doing that if you're seeking the Lord. Shoot, you won't have to be going stealing from anybody, killing somebody to take, or either eating somebody just to stay alive. You seek the Lord, and the Lord take care of you. And I pray the Lord take care of me. But all these hundreds or either thousands of jobs being taken away by these Babylonians, they thought they were going to be, they thought they were doing something. No. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, be the financial people that keep the financial system running. Yeah, when they ain't running it no more, it's running to the shitter. That's for sure. And the strong men shall bow themselves in the grinder seats, because there are few be to work. And I got a video talking about that. And those that look out the windows be darkened, be looking bad. The future of America is doom and gloom. And doors shall be shut in the street. Big businesses, small businesses closing up, like the Tyson facilities. To I don't know what else. What else? It was just all of them. Shit. When the sound of the grinding is low, when the sound of work is all you hear is crickets, and no actual machinery, nothing. No hustle and busting in the city streets. No, nothing. Just people trying to get to work or already working. You ain't gonna hear none of that. You gonna hear nothing but crying and babies crying and people dying and women screaming for their lives and men cussing somebody out, gunshots, explosions, all kind of shit. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird by their alarm clock, or actual bird, or a rooster, which be a bird. And all the dogs mute shall be brought low. It's gonna get crazy. And I got another one. Do I have another? What's the other one I got? Oh yeah. Let's get this. And I'm gonna get to that last video. Oh man. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before. These are plagues. It ain't just, this ain't natural disasters, but no, these are plagues. It's affecting your pocket. The Lord is affecting everybody's bankrolls. He can't even hardly collect a bankroll. Hell no. Shit, it take a while to get a bankroll up. Yeah. It take a while to get a stack up. Yeah, because now you got to work so much just to get it. Yep, and will destroy all the land thereof, even shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that God Yahweh shall bring upon it. So this is coming from behalf of Yahweh Shema Shah, punishing the 2/3 of Israel, and the 2/3 of Israel, and you heathens, you proud niggas. Yeah, especially you people that have been scoffing and mocking the prophets of Yahweh Shema Shah, talking shit. Nahum chapter 1, verse 3. The Lord is what is it? The Lord is slow to anger and great in power and will not at all acquit the wicked. I'm gonna stop right there because yeah, this is for, like I said, this is for punishment for you people. And I know we feeling the pain right now too, but we looking for the Yahweh Shema Shah to keep us stable. We already know what's going on, and we gonna feel some pain too. But guess what? That's part of the test or the journey, the afflict. I mean, it's part of it. Yeah. So it's time to pull on your big boy drawers and your big girl drawers and deal with it. Yeah. Pull yourself off your bootstrap. Hold on. What the hell happened there? I must have deleted something. Yeah, pull yourself off your bootstrap. Especially for you Edomites. You say that shit so much. Now it's your turn, nigga. And you other heathens. What else we got? I think, oh yeah, that's it. Let's go ahead and get to this last video.
In Joslin is shutting down, leaving more than 2,500 people scrambling. This is the letter those workers got this afternoon.
Oh yeah, this is about it. I never watched this video. This is the first time. This is about Tyson. Okay, well, I'll watch it again. And oh yeah, by the way, you see the name of the bro channel, the Arrows in the Nation 144. Subscribe if you want to, but I suggest and I advise you to go and get subscribe and get edified. Yep.
Confirming the plant's permanent closure.
I'll tell you what to do, but it'd be best you do it.
Workers will get paid for the next 2 months, but the job some have leaned on for years is gone. The Tyson Foods plant is located in Joslin. The plant began operations in 1983 under the ownership of Iowa Beef Processors. You can tell by the map it was a central part to the local and regional economy. But why is a company that's called the area home for so long closing its doors with next to no notice? The breadcrumbs were public as of about 10 days ago on the company's earnings call. Tyson told shareholders they expect losses around $650 million this fiscal year in its beef processing sector alone. Company officials claim cattle shortages and high livestock costs are to blame for that massive loss. But that reasoning doesn't do much for the workers who now only have a few weeks to find where their next paycheck is coming from. KWQC's Elizabeth Ruggiero talked to some of those workers who learned their career at Tyson was over.
For decades, the Tyson complex in Joslin has been the heartbeat of this community, but that beat went silent this afternoon. As workers arrived for their shift, they weren't sent to the production line. They were funneled into the cafeteria to receive a letter that many say felt like a betrayal.
When people started fighting, people were yelling, people were crying. I know people that have been here for 30 plus years. I know people that have been here as little as 3 days.
Tyson says the decision comes down to economics, rising beef prices, and lack of cattle. But for the 2,700 people who work behind these gates, the why doesn't matter as much as the what now. While they'll be paid through October, the law...
I'm going to stop right there because I played this already. Yeah, it was right here. Was it this one? I think so. But yeah, man, I didn't know that. Well, you know what now. It ain't looking so bad here. It ain't looking so good or not looking so bad. It ain't looking so good here in America, Babylon the Great. And we telling you, Israelites, this shit is falling. It's sinking. Titanic is sinking. And this is the beginning of it, bro. This is leading to a chip implant, but these also the plagues of Yahweh Shema Shah. So the best thing you need to do, if you're seeking mercy from the Lord, well, seek him through seeking his prophets and take heed what to say and try to build a spiritual mental relationship with Yahweh Shema Shah by praying Yahweh Shema Shah, praising Yahweh Shema Shah, worshiping Yahweh Shema Shah, fearing Yahweh Shema Shah, and repenting to Yahweh Shema Shah. To all the men out there pushing this truth and nothing but the truth for the name, spirit, and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. Keep on preaching, keep on teaching, keep your faith and trust strong. Yahweh Shema Shah, stay humble. And for you few sisters out there taking heed. Oh yeah, I forgot. For the brothers out there that's not teaching and preaching, that's not prophets, but hey, you praying like heaven, the Lord, praying like heaven, and Yahweh Shema Shah give you mercy and strength to endure. Yeah, cool. You have faith in Yahweh Shema Shah, cool. Just keep on doing what you gotta do, bro. Or brothers, bros. And for you sisters, hey, taking heed, man. And keep on doing what you gotta do. Keep your faith and trust on you. How about your mouth shot? Stay humble, stay in order with your man. If you ain't got no man, stay in order. How about your mouth shot? Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Shalom.